All right, dads. This morning I was drinking my coffee, clicked on a some nice clickbait Joe Rogan video. Thought it looked interesting. Right around the 3 minute mark, he said something that triggered an idea in my mind that is super important to getting in the best shape of your life. Okay, because I hope that's a goal. And the reason is you got to look at your fitness like it's an investment. We're mortal, we're going to decline. But if you put enough in the bank, your declination, your decrepitude never reaches the point to where you got to go to nursing home, got to be hospitalized because you built enough fitness to endure. Okay. And you can go out the way you came in, kicking and screaming. That's the goal. You don't want to depend on people. You always want to be the rock they can depend on till the day you go. And it's a possibility, strong possibility, if you invest in your fitness. And we're not talking about just general exercising without an aim. Because how will you know you're not measuring much? How will you know you are creating the best fitness? You know, who are you comparing yourself to? Are you measuring your past performances? And are you measuring the right performances, the right movements, the right fitness attributes, aka athletic attributes, because they're the same: strength, endurance, flexibility, agility, speed. That they're no fitness attributes are no different than athletic attributes. Your Olympian needs the same thing as your grandma. Okay, just in different degrees. And let me play this clip that triggered this thing that Joe said, and he said it pretty good. You're forced to be objective about it, and you have to go to work. Okay, by uh using social proof. Okay, social proof is key. That's why sports produce the fittest individuals on earth, because they're constantly using social proof to inspire themselves and to set up targets, set up goals. Okay, no one believed the 4 minute mile could be broken until Roger Bannister broke it. Okay, and then a couple weeks later, like 30 other guys broke it magically, right? The greatest scientists and physicists, biophysicists, exercise scientists went on record saying humans don't have the capacity to break a 4 minute mile. The lung capacity, the heart strength, the mechanical capacity. Our legs aren't designed that way. We're not horses. Blah, blah, blah. Good thing Roger Bannister didn't listen. But as soon as Roger Bannister, people in his sport had a target to aim for, and a target they knew could be hit, so they could attack it with confidence. All right, not wondering if it was a colossal waste of time, because maybe that kind of doubt crept into Roger's mind. They say this is not possible. I could spend my whole life cracking at it and not make it happen. Okay, but this is key. And this is what I would call a fatal mistake of just generally exercising, not taking aim, not treating fitness as a sport, not using social proof, not picking out things as targets to measure. And I discovered this tool this secret through trial and error, because most of my life I was on the sports side. I started playing t-ball, in kindergarten, played football in third grade, a year early where I came from, and played college ball and some semi-pro. Did professional mixed martial arts for 2 years. Was in the military for 7 years. It wasn't until 28 years old, where I found myself without a sport, without something to prepare for, without a tangible hard target to take aim at. No opponent, no individual I was preparing for, no team. And depending on the sport I was in, it always gave me athletic attributes that I needed to enhance. I knew it. Football, you need to be fast. You got to run, you got to sprint. You need to be strong too. Okay, you need to be durable. You need to have cardiovascular endurance. You need to do your wind sprints. All right, there's certain things you need to improve to a certain level of ability just to play the game. And then you want to make those things the best you can so you can win. It makes it a no-brainer every time you go in to work out, to train, what you need to do, what you need to take aim at. As opposed to general exercise, you walk into a Planet Fitness, you're like, maybe I'll do some elliptical. Maybe I'll hit some bicep curls. You find yourself not pursuing a hard target, and then you fall into the trap of never rewarding yourself, because we get almost all of our positive reward, aka happiness, from taking a step closer to a goal. It's where the cliche comes from about journeys. The journey matters, but only if you have a specific goal you're moving towards and you can see it. You're looking at it. You have your eyes locked on it. I discovered this the hard way when I tore my second ACL in college football after I got out of the Army, went back to Pace University in New York, and was laid up on the couch. When I recovered, I had no sport. I had nothing to prepare for. Coincidentally, I got in pretty bad shape. I put on at least 20 pounds, if not more. 20 pounds overweight. I ballooned up to 225, 230. Okay. And I normally floated around 205, 210 at the heaviest. That's where I ended up getting back to later on. I want to tell you how I did it too. I picked up another sport. And what was cool, it was actually the sport of fitness, which is CrossFit. And this is not a promotion for CrossFit. I'm not telling you to do the sport of CrossFit or join a CrossFit gym. If you do join a CrossFit gym, do your research. Make sure they have solid coaching, because it's just like anything else. All McDonald's aren't the same. All CrossFit gyms aren't the same. Make sure they have solid coaching, okay? Because they're going to make you do athletic things that, done correctly, are very safe. You're not going to get injured. I owned 2 CrossFit gyms, and the only major injury I remember was a 55-year-old who did extra pull-ups on his own and tore his bicep. I didn't tell him to do them. He did them after the workout. You get little bumps and bruises every now and then, but that was the only major injury. So, training, the Olympic lifts, power lifts, anything like that, people want to tell you it's dangerous. It's not when coached correctly, not when loaded correctly. If your technique is bad and you're a beginner, it's super simple, guys. Keep the weight light. All right. Your intuition is very good. It has you. I've seen people just naturally protect themselves if the bar wasn't too heavy for them to control. They find themselves out of control. They get rid of the barbell or they stop the motion. All right, so back on track. I wanted to show you guys that point when I found myself in one of the worst conditions in my life. My cardiovascular system was in the dumps. My fat percentage was up. The only thing I was marginally good at the moment was strength and speed. You know, I was genetically gifted in those areas, and I also enhanced those areas starting at 13 years old. And I never stopped training after that, year round. Started lifting weights and doing strength and speed training at 13 when I met a lifting coach at the Y. Kind of took me under his wing. So here I'm doing the King Kong back in 2012. This was months after the Open. The Open was in February. So I'm actually in better shape here than I was in the Open, considerably better shape. The Open was bad. I got destroyed, placed in well below the 50th percentile on most of the WODs. Some of them were strength based, so that would bump me up the leaderboard a little bit, but as soon as it was cardiovascular dependent, I would plummet. For example, one of the Metcons was 7 minutes burpees. That's it. Do burpees for 7 minutes, see how many you get. There are guys getting over 140, holding 20 a minute. I got 77. I was also kind of sick at the time, had a hefty cold, but still, I was just completely out of shape. Here, I'm still in pretty bad shape. I'm starting to get it back together. I have goals now. I'm going to get better at the barbell lifts because that's the sport of CrossFit. I'm going to get better at the cardiovascular area, the conditioning, so I can put a lot of work in any amount of time they demand. All right. Work on the body weight movements. They got specific ones like muscle ups and handstand push-ups, which is in this workout, which also require technique skill work, which increases things in fitness that matter, like your balance and coordination, your proprioception. And this is the King Kong. Let me show you this real quick because it's bad. It took me like over 12 minutes to do this. And in my peak fitness, which I would say is like 2017, 2018, when I was still competing, I could do this under 4 minutes, no problem. It took me over 12 here. Like that's a slow 405. Even today, I could pull that lightning quick, just rip it right off the ground as my strength has increased. These are some bumbling muscle ups. Only 2 was required. Almost missed that one. A little wobbly. Horrific squat cleans. This one not even a squat clean. I had a hard time catching it on the shoulders at that moment in my life. It's pretty embarrassing. Early elbow bend. All kinds of mistakes in this lift. I was kind of proud of that one, I guess. Slowly chipping away at it, though. And this is important. These are concrete goals. I'm not randomly doing stuff in the gym. I'll do an elliptical or a treadmill, maybe some shoulder press. I was like, I want to get my clean up to 350. That was the goal. I knew that was the competitive weight. And here's the other thing. It's like, people are like, you shouldn't compare yourself to others. I was like, sure, why not? You know, at the same time, you're still comparing yourself to who you were yesterday. You do both. All right, don't be fragile. Don't let your ego get in the way. You use social proof as a distant target that you're always moving forward towards. That is important. You need to do that. Okay. And at the same time, compare yourself to who you were yesterday. All right. Yesterday, I struggled with 275 squat clean. At 41, I'm 41 now, I can still do it, no problems. It's always in my back pocket. Just walk in the gym, minimal warm up, pop 275, no problem. Because I worked so hard chasing down 350. Here's the thing, I didn't get there. I got 320. That was it. But the benefits I got along that journey are tremendous. Okay, tremendous core strength, muscle density, speed, power, bone density. I put a lot in the bank towards my fitness. So when the time comes, in the end, I'm still strong. That's the goal. I have a higher probability, and it's very possible that I'll never have to go to the nursing home or be medically dependent. Okay, so I really want to hammer this, so stick with me. Okay, so we got let's fast forward. Here's some ugly looking handstand push-ups. One leg bent. It's not supposed to be bent. It's still okay for just working your shoulder strength. Oh, and that was a weak pull. I really struggled at the end. Let's see these muscle ups. Not bad. Looks like I might be getting better as I go. I have to brag. I'm a fast learner. I get things down quick. Just saying. All right. Well, kind of quick. Sometimes. Big miss. Like I said, I struggled through this. That day, my goal was just complete it. Just get through it. Just keep hacking on it until I got all the work done. All right, and then whittle that time down. I knew the pros could do it under 3 minutes, under 4 minutes. Let's see this pull. Back rounded out. It's a pretty slow pull. See how these go. Not bad. Still knees too high. Broken form. No hollow body, no arch. Toes aren't pointed, feet aren't together. Some more ugly cleans. Really pay attention to this form because I'm going to show you this dynamite kid in here in a second. I'm carrying some chub. I'm still like October. We're at 10. 8 months later. Still battling to get the weight off. You want to be as light as you can in CrossFit so the gymnastics are easy. All right. So now fast forward 2016. Okay, 4 years later. All right, tracking down those hard targets. I'm always keeping my eye on the best. Rich Froning, Jason Khalipa, Josh Bridges. Using them as social proof. If they could do it, someday I could do it. If I work hard enough. At the same time, comparing myself to this guy in 2012. All right, the Dynamite Kid is actually a harder Metcon. In the competitive world of CrossFit, the King Kong's not even considered difficult, which eventually it wasn't. Like I said, I could get it under 4. I'd blast through those barbell movements, and the gymnastic movements, the numbers are just too low. 2 muscle ups is nothing. I set a PR one time of 18 in a row. Muscle ups and handstand push-ups could do probably 15 strict in a row. No kipping, no help from the hips. All right, so watch this. This is 225. We'll start with the muscle ups. I think this is a 975. I was able to do this faster than the King Kong. All right. And you can see that I've trimmed down the excess. The fat is gone. All right. See the back muscles coming through. And this is a result. This is super important of analyzing everything I can do to get better at this sport. And one of those things you can do is fix your nutrition. What do you need to perform well? That's all I cared about. I didn't really care about a caloric deficit at all. You don't need a caloric deficit to trim fat down. It's a big myth. What I have always done since wrestling in middle school, because you got to cut weight there, I didn't even do a caloric deficit then. I just cut out all sugar, all forms of sugar. Noodles, white bread, they got sugar, and flour is basically sugar. They're both saccharides, I think is the right word. Starches. They're the same molecule. Your body looks at them the same way. White bread and noodles will increase your blood sugar. Okay, so cut those out. Cut out sodas in middle school and wrestling, and the weight would melt off. Okay, I still ate meats and veggies and fruits, and that's a general in a nutshell. You can get deep and go dive deep into nutrients, macronutrients and micronutrients and what they do, but not necessary if you just eat a spectrum of meats and veggies and fruits and cut out the sugar. Okay, that's all I did here. All right, I did it for performance because I'm tracking down these high performance targets. Like, this is a thing, the Dynamite Kid. All right, and the King Kong is a thing. You can see it here. And this is a cool app to go to. Beyond the Whiteboard. It has, it tells you somewhere how many people have done it. 1,700 people have done it. It's a decent chunk. All right. The fastest people have done it 2.5 minutes. You're talking professionals here. Professional level. All right. I would say if you got it under 6 minutes, first of all, if you can complete it, you can even do the movements, you're ahead of almost everybody in the general population of America. Can't do it at all. You got to remember, these are a measurement of only the people that can complete it, which is kind of a small number. Where was that number? 1,700. Lost it. Oh, there it is. 1,700. Okay. So out of the ones that can complete it, you could take aim at these scores. Like, say you want to be in the 90th percentile, which at my fittest in like 2017, 18, I was always trying to get 95th, which I achieved on most of my workouts. So I would take aim at this number. I want to get it under 3. I know I hit 4 at one time, but I kind of lost interest in this one because it's actually not a well-designed workout, well-designed test, because the gymnastics are just too low. Okay, the barbell works still pretty good, but 2 muscle-ups is nothing. And 4 handstand push-ups is nothing. It doesn't test your capacity there. Unlike the Dynamite Kid, test your capacity. And if you want to be able to complete this one and do it in a I don't know, just a 10-minute time frame. Looks like it took me around 7 minutes. Just still faster than the 13-minute mark of that King Kong. I just wanted to compare this. All right, get on those rings. I think I busted this up in 5 and 4. And one thing I was worried about on this one was grip strength. Okay, you're clinging to those rings, it wears your grip out. Clinging to the barbell, which wears your grip out, which means also a workout that improves grip strength. Okay, so that's one of the things you want to always consider is how many boxes do the movements check that you're choosing. If they don't check too many boxes, it's probably not worth spending time on. All right, so watch this. Watch these cleans. After doing a set of 9 muscle ups, being able to walk over, and these cleans are no walk in the park. You got to be well trained just to do a 225-pound squat clean. Let's see this next set of muscles. So I want you to remember how bad this one looked. This was typical. I had a hard time stringing together more than 2. At that point, I remember that it was so frustrating. My knees would get too high, I'd lose balance, almost tear my shoulders off. Okay, struggle with 2, opening up. Still fresh. Now, tired. Like do a set of 9 muscle ups and a set of 9 cleans and then try to keep moving and not fall on the ground and have a heart attack. It's tough. These movements are a huge strain on your heart. They cost you a lot of energy, high power movements. Okay. Look how low the knees stay. Much snappier, much more efficient. And this is at a much more fatigued state. That's the thing about fitness too, which is a goal is what kind of work can you do at a high heart rate? Your fittest individuals in the world can keep moving after they hit 80% of their heart rate. Where if you're out of shape, you can't. You have very limited time after you hit 80%. Also, the fittest in the world maintain a low heart rate longer. It's harder to make their heart race. Okay? And if you don't notice, I'm beating the young guys in the back. I'm ahead of them. Just saying. All right. Got too sweaty. Bar got a little too slippery. Got to get the shirt on. I want you to see one more set so I can hammer this point home. At the top of the list of reasons to go down the road I went down, to do the sport of CrossFit, open up CrossFit gyms, was fitness. I knew there was nothing better, no better way to get in the best shape of my life. And that's to treat fitness as a sport. All right. That's one thing Greg Glassman should get all the credit for. Okay. He gets a lot of hate because that's just human nature. Trolls out there, haters for turning fitness into a sport. But what he discovered as a trainer, that if you do that, then people engage in this magical mechanism that you'll learn in clinical psychology. And the magical mechanism is if you take one step forward towards a goal, That's where you find meaning and happiness. Take another step forward, you enjoy more meaning and happiness. All right. And if you enjoy meaning and happiness in something you're doing, then you're going to come back and you're going to do it more. Okay. That's what keeps people going back to CrossFit gyms, especially good ones. All right. Keeps people going back to their sport. You see these lifetime marathon runners, triathletes, they keep going back to it because they're engaging in that magical mechanism. All right. If you don't activate that and you just do general exercising and picking arbitrary goals not based on social proof, parameters that other people have set for you to look at and take aim, like I can take aim at this 3-minute mark. So when I take my 12-minute King Kong down to 11 minutes, there's going to be not just mental or mystical things going on. There's going to be biological things. I'm going to get a shot of feel-good hormones. It's going to be like therapy. Okay, but if I don't use social proof, if I don't look at targets like this and say I go in the gym and I'm working on my deadlift, it's not as powerful. I do some random work on the deadlift, do some sets of 3, sets of 5, and I used rate of perceived exertion is what they call it, RPE. I feel like I went hard. I did 275 and I did 315, and I'm just exercising. I'm just trying to maintain, right? If you go in with that kind of plan, it's like you're not going to feel the same as those who take a step forward towards a hard goal. And then you reduce the chances of you being consistent, returning to the gym when you're supposed to. Because who cares if you miss a session? I'll miss today. I'll get my deadlifts in later. Because you're not chasing down a hard reason to improve your deadlift. You're not trying to get better at the King Kong. You're not preparing for a powerlifting competition. You might not even have a buddy in the gym who's pushing you and he has a 405 deadlift that you're trying to match. Okay. So check this app out. This is a really good app. I use it as a coaching app. Put my members on it. You can log all your workouts. You can then check your performances. So if I go log, all right, let's go plan. We go down here, we can see huge list. Look at this, Fran. 200,000 people have posted on this. All right. You can then post yours and see how you compare to them. Of course, it doesn't want to load for me. But it would give you the same graph and same numbers as the King Kong. And that was actually one of the ones I chased down. Because that was a popular one with the competitive athletes. You needed to get your Fran under 3 minutes. When I was first able to even complete Fran, because it's a lot of pull-ups if you don't know how to do the more gymnastic pull-up with the kip swing. So couldn't even get it under 5. All right, so I had to learn technique, had to learn some skill, had to increase the cardiovascular system, Had to increase leg strength, shoulder strength, pressing strength with the thruster. Had to increase pulling strength with the pull-up. Even if you're doing the gymnastic movement, you still need to be strong in the pull. Okay? So these workouts, these measurements, these tests require that you improve physical attributes that are important for your fitness, not just a specific sport. That's important. Okay. And and here's the other thing, super important, that I never heard anybody really hammer home until I listened to Greg Glassman's lectures, the founder of CrossFit, the importance of work capacity. You have a graph like this, time, and then you have power. Okay. Power output. Your area under the curve, how much work you squeezed into that time frame, is your work capacity. That's as a direct correlation to your health. So the better you get at a myriad of Metcons, measurements like this, the more area under the curve you have, the better your health. Anybody with a big area under the curve, big work capacity, has health problems. Their blood work is pristine. They have the quickest doctor's appointments, in and out. Okay. So, it's a fatal mistake to just do some type of random general exercising without a goal. Treat your fitness as a sport. Take aim at something. And more important, and that's as easy as finding someone that inspires you and try to match them, try to catch up to their numbers, try to beat them. And even if you don't, like I never got to 350 on clean, I got to 320. But the fitness and health that I got in return was priceless.